Hi, and welcome to Mondays with Mark. I'm your host, Mark J. Schmidt of Remax Country and MoveMeMark.com. Mondays with Mark is where we talk about real estate, and I give you some ideas, maybe some things you haven't thought about that are going to help your next real estate transaction go as smoothly as possible. So today, I want to talk to you about something that came up over the past week for me. I had a client who, he's talking to me about buying a home, and he really kind of acted like we really have to fight the other side. We got to go in there and go to battle with this seller and make sure they do exactly what we want. And it was an interesting kind of viewpoint, and one that I've seen many times before. A lot of times people believe that, when I'm buying a home or selling a home, I have to make sure that I'm not being taken advantage of by the other side, that I get the best deal possible, and that the other guy doesn't screw me. And, it's really such I don't want to say it's a bad attitude, but it's not a great attitude to have. And the reason why is this. If you look at any real estate transaction, whether you're the buyer or the seller, you're all out for the same thing. If you're the seller, you want to sell your home. And if you're the buyer, you want to buy that home. Everybody wants the same thing. They want the seller out. They want the buyer in. That's it. It's really just that simple. So this doesn't have to be an adversarial relationship. You're not in battle against each other. You're working with each other to make sure that the sellers can move on and the buyers can move in. And that's it. So let me tell you a great story. I recently had a house, a listing of mine, that some buyers reached out to me, said they wanted to see it, and were able to put a deal together. So now I'm representing the seller and the buyer in the transaction. Well, after we put the deal together and we signed contracts, the buyer said, listen, you know what? Can we go back to the house? I'd like to show my daughter the house. His daughter hadn't been to the house yet, and so we said, fine. We worked it out with the seller. When I spoke to the seller, we arranged the time, and I said, are you going to be there? She said, well, should I be there? And I said, listen, if you can be there, you should absolutely be there. It's great when the buyers and sellers can meet each other. And so they did. They were there when the buyer showed up. I got to meet each other for a little bit. Then they kind of, went outside, let me show the buyers around again and look around the house. But the most wonderful thing happened. The sellers afterwards turned to me and they said, wow, we really like the buyers. The buyers turned to me afterwards and they said, wow, we really like the sellers. See, you don't have to fight with each other. You don't have to be adversaries. You can actually just say, hey, you know what? These are nice people. I'm glad to be buying my house from them. Or these are nice people. I'm glad to be selling my house to them. So my advice to you today is don't automatically believe that you're going into battle when you're buying or selling a home. You're really not. You can just work it out, you can get along, and you can have a great transaction. I'll tell you something, one of the most wonderful things, and a lot of people don't realize this, is that the transaction becomes so much more stress-free when you're not in this adversarial frame of mind. When you're saying, hey, you know what, we're working together to make this transaction happen, it's absolutely a beautiful thing. So listen, if you have questions about buying or selling a home, please visit my website anytime. You can find me at MoveMeMark.com. Also, if you're thinking about selling a home, I've got to tell you, I've got a fantastic home selling guide, and you can find that at ultimatehomeselling.guide.com. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I look forward to seeing you next time for more Mondays with Mark. You have a great day.